Hi everyone, it's Simone Watson, and this is my video for the Day 2 challenge of the Winter Biannual Bibliothon 2019. This challenge is, I think it's called Creative Expression, and we're supposed to talk about a favorite book or favorite author or a book or author that we really like and what that, means to us, or a character. Um, so last year, I don't know if it was winter or summer, it was probably winter. Basically every single video, or like probably like 70% of the videos I did, 70 something percent, were involving Neal Shusterman. So I'm not going to talk about Neal Shusterman today because we all know I like Neal Shusterman. So we're just going to talk about a different author today. Yay. So I recently read the book We Were Liars like a few days ago, and it was the fifth book I've read by Lockhart. And in a lot of ways, well, just basically in every way, it's my favorite. It's my favorite book by Lockhart that I've read, and I love it. But thinking about it and thinking about Lockhart really reminded me of the first book by her that I read, and it was called The Boyfriend List. There's a subtitle, I think. It's a There might be a subtitle. I don't know, but the main title of it is The Boyfriend List, and it's about this girl named Ruby who she's always had this group of friends, and I'll tell you the vague description of it is that there's been this falling out in this group of friends. Now, well, I can't really tell you I'm just going to tell you what it's about basically. She's had this falling out in her group of friends because she was dating this guy, Jackson, I think was his name, and he dumped her for her best friend. He broke up with her for her best friend, and then there was some friction. But then she at one point kissed him because I guess they were like sitting together and whatever, and she kissed him even though he was dating the best friend now. And so the best friend like completely like hates Ruby now, and so Ruby starts having panic attacks, um, and then her parents take her to a therapist, and the therapist tells her like, because the therapist is like, well, what's going on? And she's like, well, there was this guy who did this, and then there's other guy, and then there was this other guy, and then there was a guy. And the therapist is like, well, why don't you just write a list of every guy that you've ever like liked or had a crush on, or who had a crush on you that you know of, and et cetera, et cetera. And so she writes down this list of guys, and then the best friend finds the list, like I think in the garbage, and like makes copies of it and somehow distributes the copies to the entire school, and no one has an explanation of what the list really means. They just know that it's Ruby's list, and they know that it's a bunch of guys' names. So they have their own like interpretation of that. And so this book is really good. That's kind of the inciting incident. There was a lot of backstory, but that's kind of the inciting incident. And this book is really good because it talks about um, a lot of things that are relatable, such as like losing your friends, having made like one mistake and now like all your friends are gone, and basically like what many would call like slut shaming, because there's very much this thing where it's like it's all Ruby's fault and not really the guy that she kissed. It's more like it's her reputation that's being soiled here, and that's probably why the best friend did this. I think the best friend's name is Kim. I didn't remember it till now. I'm sorry. So this is why Kim did this, right? Because she just like hates Ruby and is like, Ruby did this and Ruby blah, 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 blah. And like she probably wasn't that mean to the boyfriend. I don't even know. But also what I love about it is that Ruby has these panic attacks, and then when she has the panic attacks, her parents take her to therapy. This is not a book that like maligns therapy or that promotes you just like dealing with your mental health issues just by yourself, but like instead she has a positive experience with going to a therapist, and I think that this is a good thing for readers to know that like you can get help if you're having an issue like that. So yeah, basically because of the like great portrayal of mental health, the very realistic, feelings of losing your friends and being, having a bad reputation at school and wanting to start over, and all of those things that are like relatable. I think that this is a really great book, and more people should read it. So if it sounds good to you, I definitely recommend that you pick it up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.